Hey, it's me, Joseph, coming at you again, and Maze, coming at you again with another episode of Art and the Garden, a series where I have the opportunity to share with you my two enormous passions, my art and my container garden. Let's grow. All right, so I'm going to pick up where I left off with the drawing, with a watercolor pencil rendering of a still life. I started in the last episode. In the last episode you can see where I started with just putting in the general composition, just drawing in, and for this one I'm adding color, blocking in color with watercolor pencils, and I'm working with some earth tones, red, yellow, orange, red, some black, brown, a little bit of green will come into play also. And I love these watercolor pencils because they're so versatile. It's a medium that I began working with a few years ago, and I just find so much versatility with working with them. I haven't stopped yet. So I'm going to continue with this still life piece that I titled Tomatoes with a Hint of Peppers. Yeah. And so for this episode of Art in the Garden, I'm going to go to the garlic that I've been growing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that when we go to the garden. But yeah, again, goodness gracious, I love these watercolor pencils. They are extremely versatile. So I'm going to continue to work on this one a little bit, blocking in color. And you know, when you're talking about blocking in color, you're not necessarily doing your detail work. You're really just putting in the color where it should be and getting a better idea of what the overall composition will look like. And so that's why I take it step by step. I do the rendering first with pencil, watercolor pencil. And I then begin to block in color like I'm doing with this one. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Blocking in color. And then I will, in the next episode, I want to share with you what it is to blend the watercolor pencil in the rendering that I'm doing right now. Again, just blocking in color, working with some really fine earth tones. Again, red, yellow, brown, green, black is in there. And so, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of get to a stopping point in a little bit here. And then we're going to go out into the garden. And this will be finished up in my next episode, and I'll be adding in the next episode the water that really brings this to life, okay? But for now, let's go to the garden, check out what's happening. All right, so let's start at the beginning where I first planted the garlic cloves that were store-bought. I planted them in August. This was about a month and a half later, 6 weeks later. Again, here we go. About 2, 3 months later, the garlics, they're growing extremely well. And what I've learned is that you want to let them grow, but you don't want to harvest garlic until a little later, after everything begins to sort of die off. Here they are. We had a freeze that came in, kind of did a little damage to my garlic cloves right here, but I felt like this would be the best time to harvest this garlic. I didn't have a lot planted, and that's okay. This was all experimental for me. So what I want to do is go ahead and harvest the I think I have about 2 containers with garlic cloves or garlic growing in them, and we're gonna go ahead and harvest these bad boys and see what they look like. My first time, and really, you're just pulling them up and seeing. Oh, okay, looking good so far. Looking good. I like this. Yeah, not too big. Again, I'm growing in small. If you know, this is really small containers that I'm growing in. But look at here. I got something. Wow. Got some garlic happening here. And these are small containers. And I think if I probably grew in ground, they would be larger. Or if I grew them in larger containers, they would probably grow a little larger. But this is nice for my first shot at growing some garlic. And I want to say, starting in August, about 6-7 months of growing these, they look pretty good. And so I'm excited about what I've gotten. And I think what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and let these cure for a couple of weeks. And in doing so, I like to braid them up. I like to braid them. And I'm going to sit them out in the air for a couple of days before I trim them up and put them in a basket or something and keep them in a really dry space for about 2 weeks. Here we go. So I trim the bottoms, cut the tops a little bit, and I let them dry out for a couple of weeks. And I think what I want to do is possibly look at making some garlic powder in the future. All right. So, hey, if you like what's happening, you can always go back and check out my website. Order some of the merchandise that's on my website. That's josephdixonart.com. And hey, also, you can also subscribe to my channel, and I guess we'll see you next time on Art in the Garden.